Hello, this is BlondeKyiv and welcome to my first episode of my new feature on my YouTube channel where we will discuss the current news stories. Today we will discuss the Ukrainian 2022 budget, the minimum wage and the recent change to the restrictions in yellow and red zone. We will review Zelensky's speech to the parliament and give some overview about possible invasion of Russia to Ukraine. And we will also discuss the famous cat now, Stepan. On the 2nd of December, the Ukrainian parliament passed the state budget for 2022. This document will determine the life of every Ukrainian citizen to the next year. The main detail that catch the eye is antisocial orientation. The minimum salary remains unchanged at 6,500 hryvnia. The salary increase is extremely meager, at only 200 hryvnia, from 6,500 to 6,700 hryvnia. And secondly, extremely distant in time, as the increase wouldn't take effect until 1st of October 2022. The state of affairs most likely explained by the fact there is no elections, neither presidentially or parliamentary, planned for the 22 year. Therefore, the ruling elite did not consider it necessary to appease the people. However, this increased the cost of the military sphere and the so-called anti-corruption vertical. The anti-corruption vertical, considered to be the anti-corruption directive, recently established between 2015-2018 at the encouragement and appease the Western and European countries. As of December 6, the quarantine requirements for yellow zones areas completely changed. The biggest change affects the service sector – cafes, restaurants, bars, sport clubs, etc. The new condition now require all staff to have received at least one dose of vaccine or provide a negative PCR test or certificate of recovery. Prior to this, such strict requirements were only in effect for red zone areas. Customers are also now required to provide proof of vaccination and alternatively certificate of recovery or PCR test also accepted. The difference between red and yellow zone now become insignificant. It should also be noted that the acceptable period between first and second dose of vaccination has been reduced from 120 days to 30 days. The administration of specialized institution for checking the certificates of visitors for authenticity using DIA application. This is a special smartphone app for citizens of Ukraine containing documents such as passport, driving license, code, etc. Failure to produce this verification could result in fines from 34,000 hryvnia till 170,000 hryvnias. It should be said that it's not entirely clear how these measures contribute to the improvement of epidemiological situation. However, as evidenced by practice of previous lockdown and restrictions, the new rules first of all will lead churn of clients and a decrease in small business income. As a result, tax payment to the budget will decrease with all ensuing consequences. On December 1st, President Zelensky delivered his annual speech to parliament. This annual speech, generally considered quite significant, as the head of state reports the result of work of the past year and shares plans for the upcoming year. However, in this case, the speech of Zelensky president was quite different. President Zelensky wanted to give us as much details as possible about negative impact on society that was caused by very unsuccessful marathon that took place on November 26. The head of state behaved overly emotional. Many called it rude and inadequate. In fact, the president's address became a banal listing of merits of the ruling elites and state of head personally. At the same time, not a word was said about pressing current issues. For example, the split in the presidential team concerning the rapid growth of tariffs for the population. The only piece of news was the promise, the introduction of so-called economical passport for children born after 2018. President Zelensky made the same promises in the spring of 2018 during his election campaign. After taking office of the presidency, he quickly forgot about election promises. He only remembers when his ratings begin to be all anti-records. Therefore, take into account the financial budget for the least basic needs, such as initiative like Vova's 1000, looks nothing more than cheap populism. By the way, Vova's 1000 initiative is a gift 1,000 hryvnia from Zelensky to fully vaccinated Ukrainians. In early December, the situation regarding Russian-Ukrainian relations continues to heat up in the global and European information space. We are talking about the possible large-scale invasion of the Russian troops, the resumption of active hostilities, and even the occupation of a significant part of Ukraine. Such rumors have been circulated since at least the end of October. In the first days of December, they took more concrete outlines. On December 4th, several reputable Western publications, the Washington Post and Bild, published maps showing the diagram of possible enemy offensives, as well as the estimate time of attack, late January, early February 2022. The problem is that the authenticity of such plans cannot be confirmed at the moment. Therefore, Ukrainian citizens have no choice but therefore continue to live in a state of permanent military state. The events of recent years prove the great dependence that many people have on information technology, such as social networks. It's no secret that Facebook and Instagram have become global platforms for any kind of advertising. A striking confirmation of this is the recent events surrounding the ordinary cat Stepan, who lives in Kharkiv. His life changed dramatically, thanks to the fact that his Instagram photo was reposted on November 24 by American pop star Britney Spears. His photo spread through the network with truly viral speed, and the cat became a kind of internet meme very quickly. Today, Stepan has more than 1 million subscribers on TikTok and more than 800,000 on Instagram. His photos gaining hundreds of thousands likes every day. This has also resulted in famous Italian house Valentino buying the rights to use cat's image for the advertising of their handbags, complete with the gift of high-end quality bags. Further, Anna, the last name hidden from the public, Stepan's owner, has said that the popularity of the cat has gone well beyond the internet. He has already been mentioned on Discovery Channel and MTV. Completely unexpectedly, the cat has gained worldwide fame and now they advertise the fashion brands. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget like, follow and subscribe. Thank you. Ciao. See you soon.